everyone, welcome to my new channel, the OG Diamond Painter. I am your OG Diamond Painter. My name is Holly. Today is Wednesday, August 13th of 2025. And welcome to my very first WIP and Chat. Today what I'm working on is a Diamond Art Club release called Fiona Butterfly Dragon. It is released through Dragons and Beasties, LLC. It is a 51 by 61 centimeter canvas or 20 by 24 inch. Comes with 27 colors. The legend has letters, numbers, and symbols, but the legend is completely mixed up, so you'll have won't have too much problems kitting it up because it only has the 27 colors, but the legend is crazy. So, like I said, this is my very first WIP and Chat. I ask that you please give me some patience and time here as I learn the ropes and things here. I'm going to be placing with an E-pen, single placing, so I wanted to test out to see if the motor was too loud for the video, or if it just goes too slow if I'm single placing. But I'm going to just be single placing today, so let's get started. You know, I've been looking around and seeing all these flyers for back to school savings, and you know, when I went to school in the 60s and 70s, the clothes we were going to wear were the clothes that were laid out on the bed that Mom had gone shopping for, and these were our new school clothes, and we got one pair of school shoes, one new pair of shoes, until we until we knew what we needed for the year, if we needed gym shoes or anything like that. So we wore what Mom bought, and please don't get nervous with me not being straight, because I do go back and I will straighten all these lines up. So, you know, didn't get a choice of what we wanted to wear. You know, we didn't get the Kohl's shopping spree or, you know, anything like that. Hot Topic. I'm not sure where they shop anymore. But, you know, it was the clothes that were laid on the bed. That was the clothes that Mom had bought you for the school year. So we started out like that, and then the school supplies, we got a list from the school of what was required for the grade level that we were in. I'm just astonished when there are certain stores that have backpacks on sale for $54.99. No way on God's green earth would my mother spend $54.99 on a backpack on sale with 4 of us kids. And back in the 60s and 70s, we didn't carry book bags or backpacks. We didn't have any of that. We just open-armed, you know. Oh, someone wants to flip out of place. We just had open arms and carried our books like that, and hoping no one would crash into us in the hallway, and our books would go flying everywhere. And, you know, sometimes I was hoping like a really cute boy would do that and kind of flirt and giggle with him, but that didn't happen very often. But, you know, can't help a girl from trying there. But, yeah, the prices for back to school, it's ridiculous. And, you know, you don't want your kid to be the only one who doesn't have, you know, that certain thing. Around here, what they're trying to do is take the cell phones away from the kids at school, you know. And there's another thing that peer pressure on things to have is a cell phone. You know, I just can't fathom having a cell phone at a young age, let alone taking it to school. And so, yeah, they're trying to ban cell phones in schools for children, and it is a peer pressure thing, like the shoes, and you know, you don't want to be carrying around an old Apple 10 when people have the Apple 16 or whatever is the newest thing out now. And Mom thinking, well, it works just fine. There's no need for an upgrade. It's what you're using this year. And, you know, back when I went to school, we didn't have computers. We didn't have social media. Our social media was passing notes in the classroom, hoping that we don't get caught by the teacher. And then if we did get caught by the teacher reading the note out loud in the front of the class. That's how everybody learned who you had a crush on. Teacher reading the note out loud. So we devised really sneaky ways to get notes back and forth to each other. But I can't even imagine having social media and devices at such a young age. And you're upside down. I love this E-pen. It just picks it right up. I don't have to worry about if I have enough wax in the pen or if the wax is going to spew over into my spot here. And it places them just the tacky on the canvas is sticky enough that it just takes that drill and holds on to it. And this is, gosh, it's going to be a game changer for me, I think. So, going back to school. What about like how you learned who your new teacher was going to be? It used to be where we would know the year before, and then you would meet your teacher and that type of thing. But then it was the teacher's name and the students who were going to be in that class were listed on the bulletin board as you came into the door. So you would know, what class you're going to be in, what homeroom, and then who was going to be in the class with you. And in 7th grade, we were allowed to pick all of our classes ourselves. So that was exciting because my best friend and I, who've been besties for 53 years now, still going strong, we had gotten our classroom assignments, and then we picked out what classes we wanted to take, when we wanted to take them, like first hour, second hour, that type of thing. And so we had all of our classes together, and we just gave our teachers a run for their money, because it was always, the two of us talking when we weren't supposed to be, giggling when we shouldn't have been, and, doing all those little teenage or preteen things that I'm sure we were driving the teachers crazy with, but they put up with us. I went to a small school in Kansas, and they knew that we were going to talk and giggle and carry on and so forth. So they didn't give us too much of a hassle, because there was no getting past us. We were just gonna do it anyway. So, and I tell everybody, like in gym class, we just really weren't participants in the gym class, because when we were supposed to be running laps around the track, we were actually, one of us would be walking forward and the other would be walking backwards, and we're talking to each other. And our gym teacher never said a word about it, because she knew there the girls are just doing their thing. And we were such good girls. We were such goody two-shoes. We were Donny Osmond fans, loyal Donny Osmond fans, still are. So we kind of followed the family regime there. They were Mormons, they were clean cut, and we followed that example all through high school. And I think the teachers appreciated that about us, that we weren't causing any problems. We were just being silly girls. And, then we became silly boy crazy girls. And that was a whole different story that we'll cover some other time. But yeah, going back to school was like, it was a really neat and exciting thing. It seemed like everybody grew over the summer, and everybody's hair grew long over the summer, and everybody's hair was, lightened by the sun. And do you remember that stuff they called sun in? You could spray on your hair and go out in the sun, and it's supposed to, give you blonde highlights. Well, one of my friends did that, and she went out in the sun, and it turned her hair orange. I mean orange, like Carrot Top orange. And so she had to wait till that grew out to cut that off. And I mean, it was horrific. You can imagine going in junior high and having come back from the summer with orange hair. Ah, bless her heart. I just felt so bad for her. But, going back and getting back into, school and getting into the swing of things, and, the whole thing with football season and going to games, and, being from a small school, we only had 79 children in my graduating class, so that was quite small. And, everybody knew everybody's brothers and sisters, and, you know, we were all just like one big family. So, you know, it would be a carload of kids needing a ride to the game and a carload of kids needing a ride home. And, you know, we all lived close to each other, so we all just piled in and went to and from. That was back when seatbelts were not, they were in the car, I think, but they were not a necessity because there were too many kids in the car, and our parents would just drive us back and forth in this station wagon, and without any regard for safety, using seat belts or anything like that. My children don't know anything but wearing seat belts, and hopefully all parents, no, get in there, you stinker. All parents abide by the law where seat belts are concerned, and who can ride in the front seat, and, well, it's not going to go in there. You are upside down, aren't you? Well, I'm going to leave that. There we go. And now, you know, they have the car seats and the super duper deluxe car seats, and, you know, you're in toddler seats, and you know, I remember back in the 60s, there were no car seats. My mother laid my sister down in a bassinet in the back seat, and I guess hoping and praying she didn't have to slam on the brakes and my sister go flying through the car. But I remember sitting there just hoping and praying. I was so nervous that, you know, something would happen and she would go flying out of the bassinet. But that never happened. So, but, you know, my kids know no different than wearing seatbelts. You know, and it's just a requirement. And the car didn't move until the seatbelts were on. So, totally different type of rules and regulations from when I went to school to kids going to school now. We were not allowed to wear dress or pants in school. Girls had to wear dresses up through the 6th grade. So I never got to wear any pants. Well, we had to wear pants to the 6th grade. 6th grade, we were allowed to wear pants, and then we wore the bell bottoms. And the thing about the bell bottoms was funny too, was, you know, you always go bike riding. Back then, you just said, Mom, I'm going bike riding. Okay, you know when to be home. When the lights, you know, went out, or you know, you could hear her calling, it was time for dinner. So we would go bike riding, and those bell-bottom pants would get stuck in our bike chains, and you'd have to stop, and whoever you were riding bikes with, which is always my best friend, would have to pedal the bike forward to get your pants out of there, and then you'd have this big grease stain on your pants, and try to explain that to Mom, how that happened, because and you'd hear, well, these are your good pants. I don't know why you didn't have your play clothes on after school. And yeah, what about that? Changing into play clothes. Do you think kids nowadays change into play clothes? When we got home from school, we were supposed to change into our play clothes. And, you know, because there were 2 different sets of clothing. And one, you know, you wear bike riding. And it really wasn't supposed to be those bell bottoms that Mom got us for school. It was supposed to be our play clothes. And yeah, I forgot all about that. But I don't think today's kids even go outside to play. They're just so wrapped up in their own little devices and things. I've even seen little 2-year-old toddlers just throw fits because they're so attached to the iPad, and when it's taken away from them for whatever reason, they just go hysterical because it's like taking their bottle away or something. But and you know, one thing I always say, you know, long before COVID started, we were already social distancing ourselves by using our personal devices. You know, you'd be sitting in a restaurant and you see the whole family's on their devices. Social distancing, you know. You're in line, in the shopping line. Everybody's playing their game on their phone, waiting for their turn to be checked out. And, you know, so we were already social distancing. Oh, you upside down? Nope, you're good. we were already social distancing ourselves from each other. So when COVID hit, it wasn't a big surprise that, we stood in line, didn't talk to each other because we had to be 6 feet away. Um, but these devices nowadays, it's just amazing what can be done. And, in 10 or 20 years, we're going to look back on, being able to snap a picture or take a video on the spot, and it's going to be in its infantile state. It's just a wonder as to what's going to happen in the future. So I'm lucky enough that I have seen both technology and no technology. Growing up in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, got to see firsthand all the neat things that we got to play with, and the camaraderie we had with everyone in the neighborhood and the kids on the school bus, and we kind of looked out for each other. And, I was just watching a video about things from the 70s that you don't have today. And, gosh, do you guys remember those clackers? When were these hard acrylic... I cannot even believe this was allowed on the market. It would never even happen today. But they're those hard acrylic balls that you had on a string, and you just shake them up and down, and the clackers would hit each other back and forth. Except for it hit my forearm more times than it hit each other. So, that kind of stuff. Do you remember I learned how to keep score for bowling playing Skittle Bowl, where you would swing the ball around and it would knock down the pins. And that's how I learned how to keep score in bowling, and now it's all done for you electronically. No one has to count pins and count ahead if you had a strike or a spare, or nobody had to do the math. Nobody has to do the math now, and back then you had to do the math, and you learned it from playing games. Does anybody remember the Barbie fashion plates? Oh my gosh. I got the Barbie fashion plates for Christmas when I was in 5th grade, and everything was hard acrylic plastic, and you could switch these fashion plates out for a different top and a different bottom, and then you would take your colored pencil and color over that, and you'd be able to create a picture of Barbie wearing whatever outfit you designed for her, and that was fun. And another thing, Mystery Date. That was like the game to have. If you were I was in 5th grade, I got Mystery Date for Christmas that year also, and just had a blast playing that with my friends, and dreaming about who our mystery date would be in the future for prom or dances. And it's funny, when we started having our dances in junior high, nobody danced with each other. The guys were too shy to ask the girls, and the girls were so silly and giggling, standing up against the wall, hoping and praying one of the boys would break out of their shell. But, you'd leave the dance at the end of the night not even dancing with anybody. Fast forward to prom, and it's like they're all over each other dancing, to the point where teachers are having to chaperone and watch every move these guys are making, because by the time we went from junior high to high school, the guys had changed quite a bit, and so had the girls. So you always had to watch for that. And I just had a really great childhood growing up in a small town in Kansas in the 60s and 70s. It just couldn't get any better. I saw every genre of music, went from, the Disney movies. Every Sunday night was Disney. We watched, every Saturday night was Carol Burnett. Every Sunday night was Wonderful World of Disney. And that's what we watched together as a family. And, well, come on, where are you? And nowadays, with streaming and everything, the whole family might sit together, but they're not watching the same thing. And, there's no such thing as going to the video store and renting a video on Friday night, which was a something that I did with my children. Friday night was video game, or we could go and rent a video and we would have pizza. And so my kids, that was our Friday night until they started high school, and those Friday nights then no longer belong to us. They belong to their social life. But yeah, going back to school, that was such a neat time, a neat feeling, hoping that, you know, you had advanced as far as those, going back to school with you as far as, you know, your body and, you know, especially in junior high, you know, when our bodies are changing and you're having to take gym class and showers for the first time and using deodorant and just all kinds of new rules as the years went by. As your body changed, the rules changed, and as your body changed, the rules got a lot stricter with my parents also. So, well, that looks like I am about to, at the end of this color here. Again, my name is Holly, and this is the OG Diamond Painter. I am going to be doing lots of fun things on this video. We're going to be, I'm going to be doing a lot of giveaways. When COVID first hit, I was laid off from my job, and I was bored out of my mind. And so I decided I needed to get a hobby. Well, I used to do counted cross stitch, so I thought I would pick that up again. And I'm like, I just couldn't get into it. And I thought, well, what if I color by numbers? I was doing that, color by numbers, paint by numbers, coloring, crocheting. I just couldn't finish a project because I just was not into it. And then one day I saw diamond art painting. I thought, oh, that looks like fun. So I ordered a diamond art painting off of Amazon, and I did that and completed it, and I mean, I fell in love. Well, I fell in love deep because I went crazy. Every time I would see a new canvas come out, I'd have to buy it. And then I found Temu, and being laid off of my job for COVID, I decided to, after my unemployment ran out, that I would just take early retirement and enjoy the days, you know, instead of working all the time. And so I found Temu, and I did not know about licensing and all that kind of thing back then. So I was buying every canvas I could possibly get my hands on. I went crazy. And so now I have all these canvases that I need to destash and make room, because I've taken up almost every room in my house with diamond art painting. I think my husband would appreciate a couple of them, you know, going out the door, so that we could make room for, you know, people to come and have dinner with us in our dining room. So I'm going to be destashing quite a bit on here. Like I said, I have quite a bit of stash to destash for cash. And so you'll be seeing videos of me showing you what I have available. I'm also going to be doing giveaways. I want to do giveaways twice a month. I have so many accessories, and, you know, if some of you are like me, when you learn about diamond art painting, you went a little cray-cray, buying either accessories or the canvases, and you all know who you are, who I'm talking to. I can already see you going, oh, how did she know? So I'm going to be giving away a lot of neat things on my channel here. And the way that I'm going to work that is, if you are a subscriber to my channel, you will get an entry into the hopper. If you like a video, you'll get an entry into the hopper. If you comment on a video, you'll get an entry into the hopper. And if you share my video, you get an entry into the hopper. Twice a month, I'm going to be drawing from the hopper for items that I have for giveaways. So the more you like, share, comment, you will have a better chance to win these really neat things that I have to give away. Now, to become a subscriber, there is no charge for any of this. I just ask that, you know, if you like a video, like a video. If you don't like it, don't like it. Please, I don't want you liking a video just to get an entry in. I want you to truly like the video. Comment on the video. Let me know what you'd like to see, what you'd like to see me do different. Anything that could help me along with my channel so that I can help everybody else, and share my channel with someone who might benefit from what I have to offer. I will be doing some how-tos, and when I first started diamond painting, I did not know there was a YouTube video, a YouTube channel, what everybody had, showing off their love of diamond art. So I was kind of blindly leading myself in. So I taught myself how to do the things that I do, and it's kind of neat when I watch everybody else's videos that I'm actually doing it the way that they're doing it. The way I do it is not by any means the right way to do it. It's just the way I do it and the way that I find comfortable to do it. And I would love for you to comment on my future videos when I do show you how I do certain things, as to how you do it and how you would change it, or maybe I've helped you change the way that you do it and it helps you along. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. And thank you for watching. If you've watched till the end, I thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe, do all those Tubi things, like, share, comment. Get your name in the hopper as many times as you can, and we'll give those gifts away, hopefully, to you. So again, my name is Holly, and this is the OG Diamond Painter. You can reach me at yourogdp@gmail.com. Again, that is yourogdp@gmail.com. Goodbye, everybody. Don't forget to get your name in the hopper, subscribe, like, share, comment, and you'll be registered to get one of our free prizes given away twice a month.